friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do my August reading wrap up, and this should go fairly quickly because I did 2 videos for a massive amount of books. I did like all of these horror novellas in a video, and then I did a whole bunch of thrillers in a video, so I'm not going to go into too depth of my thoughts. If you want my thoughts book by book, definitely check out those reading vlogs. I will have them linked down below. But just to review, I read Beneath a Pale Sky, which is a set of horror short stories. I rated this 2.75. I basically took every single short story and rated each one individually. Those are my individual ratings that averaged out to 2.75 stars. Mud Ballad by 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒌𝒔. And yeah, I actually think about this one quite a bit. There were parts that I really liked and parts that I didn't, but I rated this one 2 stars. Goners by L. Stevenson, and I rated this story 2.5 stars. I think it's just the writing in this one. The story was interesting, but just how it was told, and it took me a while to figure out the way it was told and how I was reading these different chapters, and it's so short. So for half of the thing I was confused, and then the second half I was just like, oh, okay. And I read She Who Rules the Dead by Maria Abrams. I rated this one 3 stars. This was my favorite of the bunch. This is about a man who kidnaps a woman, and he has kidnapped and killed other people, and he's probably not going to get away with kidnapping and killing her. Yeah, this was the most interesting one out of the whole stack. 17 Names for Skin by Roland Blackburn. I also rated this one 3 out of 5 stars, but not for the like horror elements. It was really like the friendship part that I really liked than anything else, and just like the city vibes and the emo goth atmosphere. I did DNF the wingspan of severed hands in that video, so I just wanted to make you aware of that as well. I did try, but this is literary horror, not really my thing. Wasn't going to push myself to read something that I didn't want to. So like I said, if you are interested in a synopsis of any of these or my thoughts on any of these, definitely check out that video. If I sat here and talked to you about the synopsis of all of these and my thoughts on all of these, it would be just as long as that video. Right, the next video I did was probably one that I was super excited about sharing with you guys. I was so excited about just the video concept in general, and it was 5 thrillers, and I love thrillers, you guys know this. So I saw this list that Riley Sager had recommended, like 5 thrillers perfect to read during summer. So I read all 5 of them, which included, and I did a vlog of it. So I tell you the synopsis, I tell you my thoughts, I tell you if I understand why he recommended it, what I recommend it, is it good to read in summertime, and all of that stuff. Again, it's a very long video, so I don't want to go too in depth with my thoughts. The first one is Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, which was my first Megan Miranda book, and I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 3.5 stars. Next, I read Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, and this one blew me out of the water. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars, and if you have not read it, you need to get on it. It is super fast-paced and action-packed, would be a great movie. Loved it. Then I read Falling by T.J. Newman. I rated this one 4 stars. It was another favorite of these. Action-filled, like great summer thriller. Just don't read it on the plane, but it's also super short, so highly recommend. Then I read The Husbands by Chandler Baker. The first book that I tried by them, I DNF'd. This one I did read the whole thing. I rated this one 3 stars. It has a lot of social commentary about the expectations of men and women in society and stuff like that. So I really did appreciate those. Hear more of my thoughts in that video. And the last book that I read for that video is Bathhouse by P.J. Vernon. I rated this one 4 stars. I also thought this one was really good. It kept me on my toes. It kept me guessing, had mysterious undertones throughout, and I really liked it. Okay, and the last stack of books, these 4 right here are ones that I have not talked talked about yet, but I do have a reading vlog coming reading both of these. So you will see that. It will probably be one of the next videos that I do. I just finished reading these. That's why I'm filming this video today. So I read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I really wanted to read this. You know, I love rom-com romance stories with these illustrated covers and just like swoon-worthy, nostalgic, easy, predictable type of stories. And I really enjoyed this one. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. And I did talk about this in one of my day in the life videos, how there was just kind of something that was irking me. And it was basically like the insta lust that the two characters had with each other, and that's what was the basis of their like relationship, and I really didn't like that. But it's about this girl that her parents have had, like, she's made one too many mistakes according to her stepfather. So he sends her off to this coastal town to kind of live by herself, you know, stand on her own 2 feet and stuff like that. But she never ends up doing that because like she immediately sees this guy. They basically lust after one another. They're very attracted to one another. They fall in love immediately, and he is very protective of her and helps her out. And she's like this social media darling, so it's kind of like, oh, what am I like outside of the spotlight type thing, like big city girl moves to small town, that sort of thing. I really did enjoy it. I don't want to bash it. I rated it 4 stars, you guys. It's just that there were some things that I was like, this would never happen like this in the real world. Anyway, I have a very lengthy Goodreads / Storygraph review if you're interested in more of my thoughts about this one. Then I read 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. My book club was reading this month, and overall I did enjoy this. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars, and the characters were fantastic, and they were. I do remember the characters. I do remember the basic plot. The writing and the non-linear timeline were what kept me from loving this more. So when I was reading it, it was a very slow start, and I was like, oh, am I gonna DNF this? Like, this is for my book club. But then something happened to change up the narrative, and I was like, okay, I'm a little bit on board. So it did pick up after that, but I just felt like that first little bit like took forever to get through. Let's see, there were 2 parts to the story. There was basically like this couple, and then there was the police procedural part that was going on. Didn't really care about that part. I was like, get me back to the couple. And I like trying to piece together the story as things were revealed. I would say this one has a slow start, but if you can make it to the narrative twist, you'll immediately be more interested. Yeah, that was at 3 stars. Books that I read today, the second book in the Sunny Song graphic novel series. It's a middle grade graphic novel series. I read Swing It Sunny by Jennifer and Matthew Holm. I think they're like husband and wife. I love this middle grade series. It's really just a slice of life of like Sunny's life. The first book follows her the summer that she goes to stay with her grandfather in Florida because her family is having a hard time with her older brother. And then in this one, she's returned home. She's in middle school now. It's just following like her life and her day-to-day, like what it's like, while her brother has been sent away to like military school or like boarding school. And what I love about it is it's for a middle grade audience, and it tackles these really tough topics, but it does it in such like an approachable, easy to understand way for like even middle schoolers, you know. But I also like that it's set in like the 70s, and it just feels like so nostalgic, and like they point out like really popular things in the 70s, like Gulliver's Island and the $6 Million Man and stuff like that. And I like that it doesn't tie everything up in a pretty little bow at the end, but it also leaves you very hopeful for the future. And the last book that I read this month is That Summer by Jennifer Weirner. Like I said, this will be in that video. This one took me a while to read. It's over 400 pages, and they aren't like super fast-paced books, as you probably know if you read this author. And this one, I wanted to love it more than I actually did. I ended up rating it 3 out of 5 stars. This is about 2 women, both named Diana, whose paths cross, and obviously they're interconnected somehow, but you really don't know that until further into the novel. And yeah, they both have very different lives, and it tackles the Me Too rape cultural world. I think it does a lot of good in that regard. I think that there were just like it also had one of their daughter's perspective in here. I don't think that that was necessary. I think it was a little too long. I think the pacing was a little off, but overall the characters and the story itself was really, really good. I love that old boys club being dismantled brick by brick. Every single time I read about that, I'm like, yes. So I will continue to pick up her books. If you know any backlist titles that I should get to, definitely let me know. Next time I go to the book exchange, I'm definitely going to keep my eye out. But those are the books that I read this month. Oh, I did DNF one other book. Hold on. I was listening to it on audiobook. It's called Danny's Mom by Eileen Wolf. And I listened to about 50% of the audiobook and I just didn't care anymore. It looks like that. And I'll just read you a brief synopsis. It says, a compelling and timely novel about a grief-stricken mother who launches a one-woman campaign against bullying in the volatile high school where she works. The writing was just really, really clunky and it wasn't like sticking with me. So yeah, DNF'd that one, and it seems like other people have had problems like with it as well. It doesn't have that many ratings. Yeah, so yeah, those are the books that I read in August. Let me know what you read. Definitely check out those other 2 videos if you want more of my in-depth thoughts, but I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye.